So I'm starting a new project, and it's basically a sort of iteration of a bunch of things that I've been trying to accomplish over the last year, both personally, professionally, and with the team. One of my goals last year, at the beginning of the year, was to start to have more of an online presence because I was consuming all this content, these podcasts. I was on Twitter following coaches and trainers and athletes and motivational speakers, and I was like, it just dawned on me. I was like, why am I viewing these people as experts in their field? It was like, is it because they're actually at the top of their field, or is it because they're just the ones putting content out there? And so as I sought out content that was relevant to me as a college coach, a college beach coach, I really wasn't finding a whole lot of, you know, content that was relevant to me. I mean, I was consuming things from other sports and I was consuming things from different levels, but I wasn't seeing sort of my world represented online. And I just, for one, am really interested in learning what other people are doing in this space. But since I couldn't find it, I felt like, well, maybe I should just do it myself and as a as an exercise in professional development. So I started recording myself coaching, both so I could sort of listen back and evaluate my timing and duration and word choice and just build self-awareness about my feedback to the players, but two, just so I could start to like produce some content that I felt like represented, the actual process of Division One women's beach volleyball program. And so I did that a little bit over the past year, and now the new year started, and we're in a new semester, and we're at this crossroads of two things. One, what's version 2.0 of that goal for me personally and professionally, and then what are we going through right now as a team that crosses over with that. So we've been really exploring the idea together of like interpersonal accountability. So not just holding yourself accountable, but holding other people accountable, which is something that's way easier said than done. And we experimented with like a no alcohol rule, like a dry season type of off season. Not because, of the alcohol, but because of the simplicity of the rule. And it was sort of just to see what would happen. Like, would we follow the rule? Would we not follow the rule? Would we call each other out? Would we not? What would we do in instances of success versus failure? It was really just an experiment in accountability. And we learned some things from that experiment, and it's led us to this like new project we have as a team, where we sort of have come to the conclusion that having one overarching rule that governs all the individuals on our team doesn't make a ton of sense because everyone is so different and everyone operates really differently. So we workshopped this thing for like weeks and have sort of come to this idea of like a team accountability calendar where everyone has committed to doing two things. The first thing they're committed to doing is like giving up something in their personal life that hopefully makes them a better version of themselves for the team. So they've chosen things like committing to drinking a certain amount of water or getting a certain amount of sleep or doing a certain amount of recovery or journaling or giving up sweets, things like that, like a team Lent kind of thing is what somebody nicknamed it. And then we have this secondary goal that we're all going to do where we're all going to actively contribute something to the team for the purpose of pushing the team culture forward toward our goals. And so it's basically this responsibility that they've all chosen for themselves. And everyone's choosing a different thing. Everyone is choosing basically what they see as being an important concept relating to our team culture. So examples of that are watching film, motivation, positivity, mental health, relationships, team bonding, you know, accountability in practice, getting rid of complaining, like things like these, that they're all going to own the thing that they think is important, and they're going to sort of let that be. They're going to do this regularly scheduled programming type of thing where they sort of impose that on the team, and hopefully it becomes contagious in some positive way for our culture. And so this accountability project is both a test of what can happen if we all really buy in to this solidarity and these team goals, to see how much we can actually push our culture forward. And it's also an experiment in, will we be consistent in these things? Will we fail? When we fail, will we say anything to each other? Will we hold each other accountable? Will there be consequences? Will there be, what's going to happen when somebody forgets to do their job, basically? And my role in this, my personal thing is giving up sweets, which has been difficult so far. My team thing is I'm basically going to document this via a sort of podcast where I'm going to meet with one player a week, and we're going to have a discussion about their concept, and not as coach and player. Like, I'm not going to be holding them accountable to anything in these conversations. It's just going to be two people talking about the thing that they have said is important to them and to team culture. So we're just going to be discussing, for example, the merits of positivity versus negativity, or, the nature of mental health as it relates to students, athletes, coaches, parents, family, where it fits in, just their concepts and their things. We're going to explore just conversationally and understand why it's important, understand why it's complex, and basically see what comes of it. So I'm going to put a name on it. I'm going to name it, this sort of podcast, I'm going to name it The New School, because that's something that I tell myself about my coaching. It's like a nickname that I've given my coaching philosophy. I was fortunate to start college coaching really young, and so I felt like I had a unique perspective, being so close in age to the athletes. And I always sort of considered myself like the new school of coaching, trying to look for like new and innovative ways to communicate and teach and incentivize and create environments that promote high performance. And that's what I'm trying to do right now, is look for a unique way to explore a thing that I think is relevant and important to organizational behavior and operations, and hopefully in a fun way that is interesting and insightful, and also to create content that I seek but don't often find at the level that I'm interested in. So yeah, here goes nothing.